WideAwakeNews.com, host on the Rinse Radio Network, and in 3 minutes, I want to let you know what you truly should be afraid of. Give me 3 minutes, and I'll give you some real fear. Not this garbage that we're being pumped by the establishment media, by our government. Let's look at some names here. We look at David Williams. He had a plot to blow up synagogues, right? That threat was thwarted. We had Jose Pimentel. He was a New York lone wolf terrorist that, thank goodness, he was stopped in the nick of time. We had Mohammed Nafas, who was going to blow up the Fed. He was stopped. Matthew Lanaza was going to blow up a bank in Oakland and start a civil war. Thank God the FBI was there to make that go away. Sami Asmaka, he had the Tampa terror plot thwarted. Of course, 19-year-old Mohammed Osman Mohammed, he was the Christmas bomber in Portland that almost caused a Christmas disaster. And now we have another one. Christopher Cornell, 20 years old, thwarted on his way to attack our nation's capital. At least this is what we're supposed to believe in every one of these cases. This is the sensational headline, the shocking headline, the fear that's being pushed towards you, so that we will gladly give up more freedom so we have safety. So we have the Joint Terrorism Task Force and the FBI and these alphabet agencies that are collecting everything that we type, say, do is recorded for our safety. This is what we're to believe. But in every one of these cases I just presented to you, tongue-in-cheek, talking about how we've been kept safe, the FBI has set the stage for these individuals, a lot of them so dim they could barely put in a light bulb or tie their shoes, and agree to go along with these things. And we are presented, look, another Osama bin Laden has been taken away and thrown in jail. In every single one of these cases, they didn't have the wherewithal, they didn't have the resources, and again, in most cases, they didn't have the intelligence to pull off anything like the attacks they've been accused of planning and were going to carry out. But that doesn't stop the government from portraying them before the television as would-be terrorists that, thank God, we have an onerous government that will take care of us. Why am I bringing these guys up right now on the heels of the killings inside of France? Because the killings in France are absolutely no different than these individuals that I just brought to your attention now. The only difference is they might genuinely be angry at the West because of the West-created terrorists that are literally killing people around this planet. But we don't look at it that way. We look at it as these crazy Muslims just came out of the woodwork and they're killing people around the world. Well, look where these came from. Look where the threats have come from. Back in September, ISIS was talking about we need attacks in France, we need attacks in Great Britain, we need attacks in the United States. Well, who is ISIS? Where did they come from? Did they just come out of thin air? No, they absolutely did not. They came out of the Al-Nusra Front, the same people John McCain put his arms around and said, these are people that we should respect. They're freedom fighters. We funneled money to them. We funneled weaponry to them. And guess what? Now we're fighting them in Iraq. Once again, back in Iraq. Hundreds of thousands of people in Iraq killed. Yeah, there's going to be some people inside of Iraq, inside of Libya, inside of Syria that genuinely want to come to the West and do harm. But if we ask the question on why, like Ron Paul would say, why are these people upset? We are called, radicals. We're called extremists for even daring to ask the question on why are these people so hell-bent on killing Westerners? We're called lunatics if we ask this question. But if we don't ask the question and we just get spoon-fed the answers, we are destined to become nothing but slaves to this system. Look what happened inside of France. 3 individuals dead, terrorists dead, that killed some people, 17 people, even though it's a shame and it's disgusting and these individuals never had to lose their lives. When we look at it in the scope of people that die around this planet every day because of poverty, because of starvation, because of malaria, because of disease, because of bee stings, because of lightning strikes, come on. This is a drop in the bucket, yet the response by the global Western leaders has been ridiculous. They march in the streets. We got to get tougher. We got to put 10,000 troops on the street in France. We have to have the SAS patrolling neighborhoods in England. And now we have a summit coming together because of this attack. A summit in February where they're going to talk about what? They're not saying they're talking about Muslim extremists or terrorists or ISIS or anything else. What they're talking about is extremism on the planet. The globe's ready. Another attack. The leaders of the world are together, locked in arm, marching down the street. We got to combat extremism. You better ask yourself, what is extremism? Because if you challenge the status quo, if you challenge what the media is telling you or what the government is telling you, guess what? You fall into that category of extremist. And this is the end goal. We can't keep fighting Muslims forever. But we got to keep perpetuating this war footing. We have to keep going and going and going and expanding the intelligence apparatus, expanding the military-industrial complex. Because if we don't have it, it all comes crashing down. And you can be rest assured, as energy continues to plummet, as oil continues to fall, as these nations that are energy producers continue to be thrown further and further and further into economic chaos, and as the West economy continues to implode, the middle class continues to fall, debt continues to rise, there will be more pushback. There will be more people like me, like you, who think that the government isn't truthful and forthcoming with the reality that we see before us, but we're told something different. There's going to be people that question the status quo. And those people are going to fall into a category. They're going to fall into the same category as the Mayak report told us several years ago. People who follow Ron Paul. People who are constitutionalists. People who believe in the Second Amendment. People who believe in individual personal sovereignty are going to fall into a category. And it's not going to be Muslim extremists. It's just going to be extremists. And that's when we, the people, become the target. We become the target, unfortunately, when we wake up. And it's a very few number of people that are there. But by the time that the number has grown to the point where actually true change could be effected, you will have that apparatus before you telling you you're a terrorist and you got to be dealt with in order for the safety of the people. We've given up our freedom to obtain some safety. We're getting neither. Stories are attached. That's all I got.